for people who want to spend their lives studying it.
But for anyone who wants to understand the past, others, or themselves. We can't understand any of that without first knowing some of the past. So I'm a student here. I am a history major and a junior and a 4.0 student. I'm here on scholarships on top of scholarships, and I probably couldn't have gotten my last degree or this one without a number of factors and coincidences lining up just as they did. So I was not always a 4.0 GPA student, and I probably still wouldn't be if my mom hadn't gotten really sick during my junior and senior years of high school, and if I had not taken time off a semester before I started college to... my mom is crying. If I hadn't taken time off between high school and college to work full-time so I could save up money, and if I hadn't decided to go to community college and build a GPA that I knew would get me into a four-year university. So all of those things that happened in my past affect the decisions that I'm making today about my future, the field of work that I might go into, and the relationships that I've built and the people that I've met in the past few years. So these roots of my identity are all built in the past, and they are everything as I go forward into the future. I think that everyone kind of has stories like that have built them into the people that they've become, and I don't think that that's everything that we are, but I do think that it's such a great portion of it. How can you understand someone without knowing some of their past? Because the people that we know the best, the people that we're closest to, are usually either the people that we have grown up beside or the people that we've lived with and spent the most time with, so we've lived our past beside them, or the people whose past we know the most about. So that kind of applies to our environments too. Events in the past influence events in the future. So my little sister couldn't make it today. She's watching this from home, and I'm pretty sure she heard me say history, and she fell asleep immediately. But that's not just a result of the American education system or personal disinterest, even though those definitely play a part. Some people are just taught history in different ways, and the way that history is taught to us influences so heavily the way that we carry that with us. So some of us read really cool books about Henry VIII, and then we dress up as Catherine of Aragon on Go to School's Celebrity Day. Maybe that's just me. Some of us are quizzed on dates and wars, and we forget about them as soon as exams are over. Some of us live through wars. There's a lot of conflict in the world, and group identities tend to play a really big part in that, and history is what builds those identities. So you can never meet a person, but your history, the things that you share in the past, maybe your past or your ancestors' past or shared events, can bring you together. So those group identities not only influence the way that you can interact with other people, but also how history is taught to you. So that feeds into basically this idea of the history that's going to be taught to you is the history that is perceived by the identity that you have. So people like me and like my sister and like all of you, we're going to carry the history that we have into future conflicts and events. So the way that we have learned that is the way that we are going to teach people after us and teach people that we are living alongside right now. And that's really important because historians are not always impartial. There are a lot of interpretations of the past, so even if you are just using facts, you can interpret those differently than someone else did who lived the same events alongside you. And that's really important in taking the study of history and the questioning of history onto ourselves as we move forward in time, because as facts pass from mouth to mouth, or even book to book, there are variations, and that's inevitable. So if we don't study that ourselves, we are losing so much, and I think that it's going to be really imperative in moving forward that we do take that onto ourselves. I'm not trying to say that we all need to go and study the intricacies of the Roman Empire or go and learn why agricultural failure affects revolution. I mean, I do that, but you guys don't have to. It is really important, though, to have a conscious acknowledgement of what we came from, of what we have experienced in the past, and move forward with that in mind. And history doesn't have to be 1,000 years ago. History is a collection of the past, so that can be 100 years ago, 10 years ago, or 10 days ago. What is happening now will be what is past, and it is the key to what's next. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk.